The widely talked about topic. If you were to summarize your thoughts or your philosophy on goals, what do you say?
Yeah, a lot of people know about SMART goals. And so if there's a tactical approach, that's the approach that I use, but I put a twist on it. And my philosophy on goals is you better have them and you need to have a relationship with them. Put them in front of you. And the way that I encourage all my clients to approach their goals, besides the tactical side of it, is imagine as if you've already succeeded in achieving this goal. And what is life like because you've already achieved this goal? What is your business like? What is your team like? What are you like because you've achieved this goal? How does that feel? What does that specifically look like? As if you're telling a story to a friend 6 months from now, you're sharing that story of all the success you have from achieving this goal. And what that does for us is it helps our subconscious solve the problem of how do I achieve this goal? Because you're telling your subconscious that you already did. And since your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what you give it, then it fixes that gap over time. And it's a beautiful way to achieve goals. And there's a ton of research behind this approach to, you could call it manifestation, you could call it whatever you want, but basically you're projecting your future and your brain fills in the gaps for you. And it's one of the first things that I encourage people to do is create that compelling story. If you don't have a compelling story of where you're going as a leader or in your business, then you're not very excited about it. And if you're not very excited about it, the people that are working with you definitely won't be, and your customers won't be. And so you're not going to get there. So create that compelling story as if it already happened or it's happening, but you're jumping ahead 6 months to a year. So I talk about selling my book. I talk about these things that haven't quite happened yet, but I talk about the specific numbers. I talk about the way it makes me feel, talk about the specifics of what it's going to be like to be at that place. And then my brain has to fix that problem that it doesn't exist yet. So that's one of the big first pieces. And then of course, SMART goals is the normal, be specific, be able to measure it. And when you talk about measurables, a lot of people don't recognize the value of the lead measures. So these are the things that you have 100% control over, not the result of the work, but the 100% control. So the number of calls you can make in a day, the number of conversations you can have, the number of specific things you can do to move your business forward that you have 100% control over. A lot of people don't track this and don't know what those things are. Once you get that dialed in, you can replicate that, you can adjust it and nuance it, which helps your business significantly. And then a lot of people, a lot of people say it's attainable. And that's fine. I think that's a waste. If it's realistic, it's attainable. Or if it's results oriented, it's attainable. So for me, it's all about accountability. And often businesses crumble because they don't have high levels of accountability. I mean, we hear that I think it's 80% of businesses after 5 years close. Well, often it's because there's no accountability or not good enough accountability in place for that business owner and that team. If you have that in place, the likelihood of you being successful skyrockets. And there's stats behind this as well. And then, of course, is it results oriented? Is it time bound? But fundamentally, at the heart of all that is the accountability side of, okay, are you going to do what you said you're going to do? And since you told this future story to your brain, and you're going to be accountable to that because you're committed to doing what you're saying you're going to do, your brain goes, okay, I need to solve this problem that you've created for me, because my reality isn't that I'm making $1 million this year. My reality isn't that I have 3 new employees. And then you stay accountable to that new reality that you created for the future and you make it happen. It sounds very simple and basic, but it is, yet it's difficult to pull off, of course.
Well, if you focus on the things like you said that you have 100% control over, then I can totally understand how, providing you, as you say, have accountability, then I guess the data can change. But other than that, I mean, like you say, you have control over it. So providing it is what you want, the goal is definitely what you want, then no reason why you can't achieve it. Have you got any thoughts about the types of goals that people set that they're not 100% convinced about?
Yeah, I have a client right now that's in that place. He's stuck between, do I continue running my real estate business or do I expand my real estate business? So do it himself and maybe one other person, or expand it and add 4 or 5 agents. and he can't decide. And so for him, he's just stuck. And so we had a pretty heavy conversation the other day, and ultimately it was about trust. It was about, he trusts himself. He trusts that he can do the work. He trusts that he can train his team, but does he trust his team? And so for him, he was stuck on, I'm not sure if I can trust my team. I'm not sure they're ready for this. And so that's the problem that had to be resolved for him in order to believe in the goal more. And so when you don't believe in your goal for some reason, or there's a reason behind it, you're not motivated because, do you really want to do it? Is there something in the way that's preventing you because you don't really want to do it? Or is it an ability problem where you're actually not capable of doing it? And what can you do to resolve either one of those things? So for him, it was a kind of a motivation problem. He's not sure if he can trust his team. So how do we resolve that? Talk with your team. Very simply, have one-to-one conversations with your team and figure out where they stand. And your trust level is likely to go up because he didn't hire stupid people. Most people don't hire stupid people. So you usually can trust your team to do a good job. And if you can't trust your team, get them out.